Don't sign it if you have any doubts. Get the DNA test first, like y'all doing now.
And I had a doubt that it took 10 months, but at least it could happen today. And if it is my child, I'm gonna step all the way.
Good.
All the way.
100%. You don't gotta say good.
Your contention is we're not trying to duck or dodge any responsibility.
We have
If I'm
7
the
kids
dad,
already.
I
We
will
don't-
step up to the plate.
What's one more? He takes care of my 4 plus his 3. And he takes care
I
of all
take
of
care of
them.
them.
What did the messages say, Mr. Jenkins?
They were speaking about how I miss you and I love you and I wish I could be with you.
Wait, and this is when you were engaged?
It was 4 weeks after we had been together.
The case kicks off with the judge announcing Seuss versus Payne, greeting everyone warmly in the courtroom. The judge thanks Jerome for the introduction and warmly welcomes the audience and the involved parties. Just when you think it's a regular day in court, things start to heat up. Buckle up for the drama.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Seuss versus Payne.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Seuss, you have dragged the defendant into court today because you say it's his mother's fault he's denying your 10-month-old daughter. You claim when the DNA results prove he is the father.
Ms. Soussis steps up with a big claim. Mr. Payne, backed by his mom's opinions, is denying that he's the father of their 10-month-old daughter, Aleliana. She's adamant about adding his name to the birth certificate once the DNA test confirm paternity. Strap in, because this is just the tip of the iceberg.
You and your mother say the plaintiff's sneaky behavior during your on and off 3-year relationship has led you both to believe you say you need the DNA results or you're not signing anything.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Seuss, why has this relationship been on and off for 3 years?
Ms. Seuss spills the tea on their rocky 3-year relationship, blaming Mr. Payne's jealousy and insecurities for his controlling behavior. The courtroom's about to get a dose of reality as the allegations fly. You won't believe what's coming next.
She been out there.
You guys, they're both jealous.
We
They're
both
both
out there,
they're
bro.
both jealous.
Of course I'm
Doing it.
jealous. You were
Yeah,
my
she's
boyfriend
doing
for like almost 3 years.
And why
Of
would
course
not
I'm
be
You guys
jealous?
do the
She was
same
my
thing
girl.
to each
All
other.
right.
How old are you guys?
I'm 19.
I'm 20.
All right. You all engaging in adult activities, but you're still acting like kids, right?
Ms. Seuss and Mr. Payne are only 19 and 20. The judge points out their youthful missteps despite taking on adult responsibilities. It's a moment that really highlights their inexperience. And guess what? The plot thickens from here.
And that's what leads you to doubt paternity.
The first day after we started talking, she went to the movies with some other guy. Facebook messages telling her ex she love him, this, and
Yeah,
that.
but the next
Yeah.
day you did something with another girl and you was just telling your ex you loved her. So
No,
what's the difference?
You lying. You lying in court.
So,
That's crazy.
Ms. Seuss, you did contact your ex?
Yeah, I said I care for him. I never said I loved him.
Mr. Payne initially was over the moon about the pregnancy, but quickly switched gears to doubt, insisting on a DNA test due to their on-off relationship status. The air in the courtroom is thick with tension, and the gloves are about to come off.
There we go with the DNA test stuff, so.
What was your response, Mr. Payne?
I was happy and shocked at the same time because I felt like it happened fast because we had just got back together.
How soon after you got back together did
2 weeks.
It seemed like right away. It seemed like that's the only reason why I questioned it, because the first time she was pregnant twice, I knew without a doubt it was his because she didn't go anywhere. I couldn't get rid of her.
The temperature rises as a fierce debate erupts over whether Mr. Payne and his mom were supportive during the pregnancy. Ms. Seuss voices her struggles with feeling alone and unsupported. Fasten your seatbelt because their emotional roller coaster is far from over.
I'm not innocent.
This is
but
what
I'm not
they
gonna
do.
put no
Me
baby
neither.
on
I'm
something
not
that's not
innocent
yours.
neither. I'm not innocent neither.
I
but
had-
we
And
And
slept
I want to
unprotected
ask you
for
to
a
be
year.
there if it's not your child.
But I was there
And as
through the
far as
pregnancy.
But you really weren't.
But I wasn't though because you wanted to stay away.
How?
What you
Yes,
mean?
I did.
So
You
what
stressed
what
out.
happened during the pregnancy?
There was a time when someone came up to me in the supermarket, Miss Seuss and Mr. Payne, my son knows about this. A lady comes up to me and she goes, yeah, well, you're right to want a DNA test because she moves around. This lady, she knows. I came home and told him and he told her.
Emotions hit a peak as Ms. Seuss talks about the tough times she faced handling the pregnancy mostly by herself, feeling deserted and overwhelmed. This leads the judge to probe why she chose to go it alone. Hold tight, as the emotional turbulence isn't easing up just yet.
Take your time.
I've been doing this for so long by myself. It's like, I'm just fed up.
She didn't have to be alone. She chose to.
Yup,
That was
'cause
on
what's-
her. She
who was
chose
there
to.
for me?
She chose to. Me?
Okay.
Wait. Mr. Payne says you didn't have to be alone.
Because I've been independent for so long, for so many years by myself. I was used to it, so it was like,
Did you want him to be there and help you?
yes, I did.
Attention shifts to little Aleliana, with Ms. Seuss feeling that neither Mr. Payne nor his mother have truly connected with the baby. As they hash out their issues, the next revelation is bound to stir things up even more.
What did you do?
What did I do?
What did you do?
You said you
It
needed
took
a
you that
stroller. You
long.
ain't even put the stroller up.
Okay. Yes.
Because
All right. My daughter
But
no
you
blue
should have told me
stroller.
that, and I would have replaced it.
So now we're fighting over the color of the stroller?
Right.
This is problematic. This really is sad. 'Cause I mean, really, I kind of let the argument go for a minute because I want to try to understand what you're arguing about. I mean, but it's very superficial. I don't know. It's just madness.
Mr. Payne lays out his paternity doubts, citing their breakups and Ms. Sousis' mingling with other men as the root of his suspicion. This bombshell has the courtroom bracing for more sparks to fly. You'll want to stick around for the fallout.
I want to understand specifically, what are your doubts?
It's just cause of the beginning. Like, we was both doing us before we got back together. I know how she moved. She know how
So
I
you
moved.
were broken up or on a break,
And then we got back
she was
together.
dating other people, you were dating
I wasn't
other
dating
people.
I
nobody.
can't say she was dating anybody, but I know we was both.
Do you know or have actually had sex with someone else? You
I
don't.
seen her at a party with a dude. That was a couple weeks before we got back together. That's the last thing I could say.
The issue of why Mr. Payne isn't on the birth certificate comes to light. Ms. Sousis interprets his hesitation as a form of rejection, both to her and their daughter. As emotions continue to unravel, prepare for an eye-opening continuation.
In your court papers, you say that he's not on Aleliana's birth certificate.
Yes, that's another reason why I didn't let him take her as much.
I told him if you have any doubts, don't sign it if you have any doubts. Get the DNA test first, like y'all doing now.
And I had a
Then you
doubt,
sign
and
it.
it's sad that it took 10 months, but at least it could happen today. And if it is my child, I'm gonna step all the way.
Good.
All the way.
100%. You
All
don't
the
gotta
way.
say good, because I
All the
know
way.
what I'm gonna do.
The moment of truth arrives with the DNA results.
Mr. Payne, you are the father.
Thank you.
Happy. Now I'm happy. Now I could be happy.
Are you ready for this roller coaster? The case of Brown Murray versus Murray kicks off in court. This explosive case centers around Mr. Murray's allegations that his wife, Ms. Brown Murray, may have cheated on him while deployed in Iraq, sparking doubts about the paternity of their child. Buckle up, Mr. Murray's wild accusations are up next.
This is a case of Brown Murray versus Murray.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Today you say you stand before me outraged because your husband has accused you of infidelity.
This next segment is a real doozy. Mr. Murray voices his uncertainty about being the father because Ms. Brown Murray announced her pregnancy soon after her return from Iraq, which to him seemed suspiciously quick considering the timeline of her deployment. You won't believe what Ms. Brown Murray has to say in response.
Your wife did indeed cheat on you while serving overseas. You contend that there's no way you could be the father because she announced she was pregnant too soon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Brown Murray, what is life like overseas for a married woman?
This part's a real eye-opener. Ms. Brown Murray acknowledges the temptations that come with being stationed overseas, but strongly denies cheating on her husband, pointing out her strict adherence to military rules and her commitment to maintaining daily Skype calls with her husband. Next up, Mr. Murray pours his heart out.
I didn't cheat and I didn't go outside of my marriage, and I know that in the military there's a rule that we can't do that. And I assured him every day I Skyped with him every day that I would have to get in the bunker and for hours and hours. If there wasn't a time, then I would be in the bunker and then I would get back to him the next day.
Get ready for a twist in the tale. Mr. Murray shares his emotional distress and loneliness during his wife's deployment, further complicated by his new life in a different state all by himself. Just around the corner, a neighbor's startling statement turns everything on its head.
My wife is deploying overseas. Don't know if I'm gonna ever see her again. And if I do see her again in one piece, is she still gonna have love for me? It's a lot of men's on base, a younger man. So that has a lot to do with my being guilty or bad conscience.
Here comes a curveball. A neighbor in Mr. Murray's apartment complex alleges that infidelity is rampant among deployed military personnel, further fueling Mr. Murray's suspicions about his wife's loyalty. Don't miss the upcoming testimony from a former military member. It's a real game changer.
40 married ladies on base.
That's not true.
Well, this is what he said. It could be 40 married ladies on base would have sex with another man because on the base is what happened on this base stays on this base. Me, she's over there, I'm getting told this? Yeah,
And that heightened your concern.
of course.
This testimony will knock your socks off. A former military member steps up to shed light on the close bonds and occasional secretive behaviors that form within the military community, highlighting how some married personnel may behave while on deployment. Strap in for a heated exchange about a questionable phone call coming right up.
But there are a lot of times where you join the military and you're away from home, and so the first thing you can do is cling to people who are around you. What goes on base stays on base. A lot of times, a lot of married soldiers, they would be out. We would go on what they call TD TDY, which is temporary duty. The unofficial term for it was temporarily divorced.
This phone call is about to stir the pot. Tensions escalate as Mr. Murray describes an unsettling phone conversation where he suspects Ms. Brown Murray of being flirtatious with a male friend, fueling his doubts even further. The emotional toll of homecoming and paternity doubts takes center stage next.
So while you're giving your husband a gift, you've got your friend on the other line on the phone.
Yes, Your Honor.
A male friend.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so your husband thinks you're being flirtatious. And if anyone would know how you sound when you are flirting, it would be your husband.
You might need tissues for this part. Ms. Brown Murray opens up about the painful experience of returning home to a husband filled with doubt about her fidelity and the paternity of their daughter, despite her staunch denials and efforts to maintain a committed relationship. The pivotal discussion about the suspiciously timed pregnancy is just ahead.
Alive, come back to and then you have a beautiful daughter, whether or not it's his child.
For the doubt, with the doubt, trying to meet somebody and have a relationship, you're out there fighting and trying to, it's just kind of hard to come back home. Even with the doubt, he's still a good husband. He's still a good father. He sits there and he takes time out with her. He plays with her. He takes care of her when I'm at work.
Grab some popcorn. This is getting good. The couple delves into the controversial timing of Ms. Brown Murray's pregnancy announcement shortly after her return, which Mr. Murray finds dubious due to his known low sperm count, and the timing of her return from deployment. The DNA test results are up next, and you won't want to miss it.
10:30 at night, she wakes me up. Now I'm asleep. She knows not to mess with me when I'm sleepy. And then she tells me she's pregnant. She shows me the pregnancy test. Well, Your Honor, you can barely see the line. Barely see the line to come all the way through. You can't hardly see it.
The moment we've all been waiting for. The emotional climax of the episode unfolds as the DNA test results are revealed.
It has been determined by this court that you are her father.
Thank you.
I think my knee.
Buckle up, folks. The court case, Serfozo versus Miller, kicks off. This involves Miss Serfozo, who calls her daughter a miracle baby due to her difficult past with fertility. With 3 potential fathers in the mix, including Mr. Miller, this courtroom drama is just getting started. Keep your eyes peeled because the twists and turns are just beginning.
This is the case of Serfozo versus Miller.
Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
Good day, everyone. You call your daughter, Cinity, your miracle baby.
Yes, Your Honor.
And because you were told you'd never have kids. And when she was born, she had 3 possible fathers, including Mr. Miller.
Get ready for a roller coaster. Miss Serfozo spills the beans on her daughter's conception amid a lifestyle filled with parties and multiple partners, creating a paternity puzzle. Mr. Miller and his fiancée, Miss Dreher, challenge the paternity claim, alleging Miss Serfozo is misleading everyone. Fasten your seatbelts. It's about to get even more turbulent.
Ma'am, at that time, I do have a past just like everybody else. At that time, it was party central for me. I was just partying all the time. When I found out I was pregnant, I was involved with somebody else.
Okay.
So.
You were dating one man.
Yes, ma'am.
The plot thickens. Delving into the details, Miss Serfozo discusses her casual, unprotected liaisons with Mr. Miller, which he initially claims to not recall due to his party-heavy lifestyle. The tension in the room is palpable as accusations fly. Stay tuned as the drama escalates to new heights in the next exchange.
But the truth is you were also intimate, obviously, if you believe there are 3 possible fathers, with 2 other men.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you and Mr. Miller meet?
Through one of his family members.
So the relationship became a sexual relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you handle the hate? Amidst growing skepticism, Mr. Miller concedes he can't recall his intimate moments with Miss Serfozo, which throws a spanner in the works regarding the paternity debate. As Miss Serfozo firmly stands by her account, the stage is set for an explosive confrontation. Brace yourself, the fireworks are just about to start.
We went and picked Mr. Miller up until we got to the family member's house. It was not a party. He came over casually, and that's
So you're
when...
saying you felt more like this particular encounter between you 2 was a date?
The suspense is building. Judge Lake seeks to clarify the exact nature and duration of the relationship between Mr. Miller and Miss Serfozo, with conflicting stories adding fuel to the forefire. What unfolds next will surely make your jaw drop as the court digs deeper into the tangled relationships.
So you're saying you were with her once, maybe, and she's saying you were together for months. Luckily for this courtroom, we only need the once, and since you can't remember, we'll just go with Miss Serfozo's testimony.
Just when you think you've seen it all, Miss Dreher throws a curveball by mentioning a third party who claims the child is Michael's baby. This bombshell adds a new layer of complexity to Mr. Miller's denials. Watch out, because the courtroom is about to erupt with reactions.
He says, well, you know, I'm here with Michael's baby. Do you know he's got a baby that's about 6 months old? I said, I didn't know that, but I'll ask him about it when I get home. We looked up on Facebook. He says, I don't even remember meeting that girl. Who is this? you know?
That's pretty funny.
The temperature's rising. As the dispute heats up, Ms. Serfoso and Ms. Dreyer exchange fiery barbs over the resemblance between the child and Mr. Miller, with accusations of delusion and denial flying across the courtroom. Don't go anywhere. The climax of this fiery debate is up next.
There is no other possible fathers, man. His own mother says that she acts like him as a baby.
She's even told me stories about my own kids' father. In December, she was texting me that my kids should be told that their father is dead because he had a new life with her and her child, and he was no longer going to be their baby.
Emotions are running high. A visibly upset Ms. Serfoso voices her frustration over the lingering doubts surrounding her daughter's paternity, stressing the child's need for a father's support. The stakes are incredibly high, and the emotional toll is evident. The courtroom is on edge as we near a critical revelation.
My daughter
she
needs
deserves
everything.
the support, and he's supporting his other children and Ms. Dreyer's children. Your daughter is his daughter. He should be supporting her as well.
She deserves to know who her father is.
And she deserves to know father is. That is correct.
Are you keeping up? Amidst heated exchanges, child support controversies come to light, with Ms. Serfoso accusing Mr. Miller of shirking his responsibilities, while Ms. Dreyer defends his financial contributions to his other children. The tension is thick, and the next moments are crucial in untangling this mess.
The child support does have his
We've
address
called the
on
child
them.
support, and they said that they had never even heard from her.
So
They
your
sit
contention
back.
is we're not trying to duck or dodge any
Yes,
No, ma'am, I'm
responsibility.
not.
We have
If I'm
7
the
kids
dad,
already.
I
We
will
don't-
step up to the plate.
What's one more? He takes care of my 4 plus his 3, and he takes care
I
of all
take
of
care of
them.
them.
Anticipation is through the roof. As the debate reaches a fever pitch, Mr. Miller pledges to accept responsibility if proven to be the father, setting the stage for the DNA results that everyone has been anxiously awaiting. Get ready, because the results are about to turn the entire case on its head.
But it's still fascinating that these two women are going back and forth
Because
and
women
back
do
and
this.
forth,
Oh, women do that.
arguing.
You do it.
You told me this, you trying to do this, you trying to do that, when the focus should be, if you're this child's father, where do we go from
I'll
here?
step up to the plate.
Jerome,
I'll do what I can.
in light of that, I think we're ready
We
for
did
the
say
result.
together.
Here comes the bombshell. The DNA results are revealed.
Pertaining to 1-year-old Cinity Plaza,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Miller, you are not her father.
Told you.
Thank God. Thank God.
So now where's the other man?
Get ready for a roller coaster. You may be seated. Strap in, because things are about to get even wilder.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Jenkins versus Hensley.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
What just happened there? Mr. Jenkins, you say your girlfriend is a known cheater who has spent the last 2 years bouncing between you, her ex-boyfriends, and her co-workers. And guess what? It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Mr. Jenkins, you say your girlfriend is a known cheater who has spent the last 2 years bouncing between you, her ex-boyfriends, and her co-workers, and can't be trusted. You say there is no way you are the father of her daughter, Asher, and this paternity doubt has put your wedding on hold.
Can you believe this twist? Ms. Hensley, you admit to making a mistake early on in your relationship, but say you have always believed Mr. Jenkins is your child's father, and you intend to prove that today. Don't go anywhere. It ramps up from here.
Ms. Hensley, you admit to making a mistake early on in your relationship, but say always believed Mr. Jenkins is your child's father, and you intend to prove that today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did that just really happen? Mr. Jenkins, so why don't you trust your ex-fiancée? Buckle up. The revelations are about to drop.
I do not trust her because throughout the course of our relationship, I've either caught her cheating or attempting to cheat with other people.
And so what has this paternity doubt done to your relationship?
It's really put the relationship on a line because I love being with her, but it's making me have more and more doubts as time goes on because I keep finding more and more cases.
So it has eroded the trust?
No, Your Honor.
Because at this point you don't believe anything she said?
No, Your Honor.
Things are heating up now, Judge Lake. So he went through your phone and saw you had been texting him continuously. Keep watching. The next part is a doozy.
He went through your phone and saw you had been texting him continuously.
I mean, that
What's
probably,
your response to that?
That probably is true, but that we were talking as friends because, I mean,
You were speaking like you had never broken up.
What
were
did the
together.
messages say, Mr. Jenkins?
They were speaking about how I miss you and I love you and I wish I could be with you.
Wait, and this is when you were engaged?
It was 4 weeks after we had been together.
Hold on to your seats, Jenkins. I found out Shania was pregnant, and I didn't at first believe it because we had been together around 2 years at the time. You'll be amazed by what happens next.
I found out Shania was pregnant and I didn't at first believe it because we had been together around 2 years at the time, and we were having sexual intercourse 2 to 3 times a day for the whole 2 years long. I'm talking like all the way through January, all the way through February, all the way through every single month.
Did that just blow your mind? It wasn't until this time when I suspected she was with someone else that she ends up getting pregnant. The next revelation is just around the corner.
It wasn't until this time when I suspected she was with someone else that she ends up getting pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor. As soon as I started noticing a lot more activity around other men.
I have a medical condition, so it's hard to get pregnant if you don't ovulate or have a period.
So you're saying because of a medical condition, you do not ovulate regularly, have your period regularly?
Yeah, I didn't have a period the whole time we were together.
For 2 years.
Yeah, I never had a period.
Imagine being in his shoes.
I don't let her know. I don't call myself daddy in front of her. Want to be 100% sure because I don't want to raise a child that's not mine. I still care for her. I've been with her since she first was conceived.
But you admittedly are holding back.
Yes.
You really aren't giving this child the love and the care that she deserves because you have doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Here comes the moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jenkins, you are the father.